I'm doing a part 2 of my 10 bands you haven't heard but should, or metal bands should I say, as I'm keeping this series kind of just to promote the smaller metal bands, doing my kind of bit for the underground, because with my bands, I know they wouldn't be doing what they have today with putting albums out, the sales they get, which I'm not going to disclose because, to be fair, that's only my business, but let's say they've been good. I'm not in it for the money. Every penny I make off it, I put back into recording. And basically, all the people who have, for no profit or personal gain, helped me out, I really appreciate that. And I want to kind of keep the chain going. Like, I don't think just because one has their own band or whatever, that they should then stop giving a shit about the other bands in the scene. I mean, Trevor from the Black Dahlia Murder is still a really down-to-earth guy promoting smaller bands, and I think that that's awesome. So without further ado, this is another 10 bands. They're mainly UK bands because I like to help out friends or bands I know friends have worked with or whatever. But having said that, there are international bands as well. So yeah, without further ado, first up we have, sorry, just getting this to focus, the new Abduction album from here in the UK. I got copy number 40 out of 40. It's on Death Cult Productions, who some of you, if you follow me, may have heard that they will be doing a release of Hagal, the second Sickly Gangland album. They're putting that out on cassette, so check out Black. I'm really fucking this up. Death Cult Productions, spelled KVLT, because why would you spell it any other way? That'd just be wrong. Abduction. The album is called A Crown of Curses. The song Respiratory Prison is some of the best and most diverse black metal. It uses psychedelic elements and such, like Oranzi Pazuzu. There's some really Leviathan-esque, kind of very diminished, menacing sounding song structures, so that's really great. Now on a more kind of old school black metal vibe, this is the 5-track EP from my friends Volniir, I believe that's how you say it, called The Enigma. I believe that they've sold out of CDs, but I don't know, Sylvester, if you end up watching this, I know you kind of run the Bandcamp and such, so just feel free to drop a link. Some really tight black metal. I believe they're working on an album at some point soon. It's got some really cool art. They've kind of made a noteworthy name for themselves in the UK black metal scene, which is very well deserved, so check them out if you like your kind of more traditional black metal. Next up, I'm not entirely sure where the band are from. I believe they're American, but I haven't actually done my research on the backstory because, to be honest, I'm too wrapped up in the music. The new album from Camus. Arguably, because Nuclear Blast handled the European release, you could say that they're a band that a lot of people will have heard, but and rightfully so. I mean, they're probably yeah, they're by far the most known band on this list, with it as a 20-buck spinning Nuclear Blast release. But I don't feel, same with Tumult, that they've necessarily got enough exposure in the more underground part of the communities, such as the black metal community. This is some kind of really melodic doom metal. It's actually really uplifting to me for some reason. The track Flesh to Nothing is the most noteworthy in my opinion. Absolutely stunning lyrics. Try for the Volniir one as well. In Talon's Bareth, or Bareth, however you say that. That's a great track. It was actually on the first AHPM Records compilation, the Death to False Metal Part 1, so that's a fun fact for you there. Next up, another band that was on that, Agrona, featuring Anku on drums, which I note because he did the drums for the Arboretum EP, the kind of green foresty one, and on Hagal as well. It's programmed, but he did it all, and the production, so he's the man to thank. But yeah, Agrona's new or debut full length on UCAM Records, Realm of the Fallen. Some kind of more well-known metal personality, Infidel Amsterdam, posted this on YouTube, on Instagram rather, which I was really happy to see because they're a smaller band. I saw in they got to play Bloodstock, which is a really good opportunity. Chris from UCAM seems to be doing a wonderful job getting this around. So yeah, it's really worth checking out if you like your more symphonic and melodic black metal. Not to kind of the over-the-top extent of maybe Karakangren, but sort of more along the lines of Emperor's mid-era career with some kind of more flamboyant twists. But if you're going to check out any song, Apotheosis is really damn cool, hence why I put it on the compilation, of course with their permission. Next up, we have a Belgian band. This is on Vendetta Records, the new Spectral Wound EP. I keep nearly saying Spectral Voice because they did that split recently, so they've both been in the foreground of the underground metal scene. But yeah, the new Spectral Wound album, Infernal Decadence, is arguably some of the best black metal I've heard this year. I say arguably, I will kind of back this to the death. It's fucking like such a deep, rich melancholy to the sound that's... Imagine Zaster, but kind of with much tighter modern production, which maybe you're not a fan of, but for me, I think it sounds really great. Next, we have Cemetery Lust, Rotting in Piss, a Hell's Headbanger Records release. See, I've seen a lot positive about this. I'm not going to bother trying to censor the image. Like, if you zoom in on it and it offends you, kind of, there's some butt fucking going on. So if that offends you, don't zoom in. Period. I've seen kind of people say, oh yeah, it's not serious or whatever. I don't really care. Because as far as I'm concerned, 9 tracks, of dingy as hell, really old school sounding, crushingly heavy death metal. Whether the band take themselves seriously or not has no effect on the fact that I really enjoy the music. So yeah, check that out. And if you're kind of one of these shocked people who are like, oh, sexual content on an album cover, 1, don't zoom in, and 2, this is probably not the video for you because I'm not reviewing boring things. So next up we have Sin by Trivax. I did a review of this on my blog quite a while ago. They're a UK band. Along with Abduction, they will be playing Bloodstock this year, so check them out if you're going. Now, Trivax have a very interesting sound. It's very progressive. The main man, Cheyenne, I'm not sure, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, is from Iran, so I'm guessing maybe some of the progressive melodies influenced by the more Arabic music scene or things like that, which I think is a really interesting concept. He's a really cool guy, really well written album. It's very kind of original, unique black metal, which they're based in the UK now, which I forgot to note. And that's got some really kind of cool album art. I don't think I've seen something quite like that, although the face part almost reminds me of something Iron Maiden might do. That's really cool though. I keep forgetting to do the song of the album. So for Spectral Wound, I would say Woods from Which the Spirits Once So Loudly Howled. Cemetery Lust, I would say Fatal Infestation or Funeral Home Massacre. And for Trivax, I would say Void Star or Saturn. Next we have another UK black metal album. Sorry, who released the Trivax one? I believe it's self-released. On Cacophonous Records, Old Corpse Road, UK black metal legends. I saw them open for Shining in Wakefield once. Really kind of folky. If you like black metal like Drook or not to the same degree, but stuff like Sa, but nowhere near as Scottish. That was not a criticism. I love Sa, and Scotland's a great place. Really interesting how they use bagpipes and such. But yeah, Old Corpse Roads, Of Campfires and Evening Mists, is really peaceful, enjoyable black metal, the kind of stuff you want to listen to walking through the woods. The Whispers of Long Meg is a great song. Sorry Through Pendle Woods and Closing the Circle, Hail and Farewell, that's another great one. So definitely check them out. Second to last, this isn't in any order by the way, I should have probably mentioned that, is a fairly local band, Kaine. I see them at the B2 fairly often at the minute. This is on Revival Metal Records. If you like stuff like White Wizard, who really want to just bring back the original heavy metal sound, kind of just go back to that time of the late 70s and early 80s. This is 10 tracks and it totals to over an hour of just pure classic metal glory. And finally, we have another, yeah, they are British. This is from The Church Within Records. And their email and website I like is Doom Dealer. I think that's kind of cool. Serpent Venoms of Things Seen and Unseen. Shit, well, that's got a tit in, but it's an artistic booby, so it's not offensive. And I don't give a fuck. Absolutely stunning, really melodic doom metal once again. If you've probably seen a trend, I really like my doom metal to either be death metal-y or really melodic like Paul Bearer or whatever. I like all of it, but for me, it's one way or the other. I don't kind of do the half measures thing, so yeah. Serpent Venom, I bought this on Bandcamp. It's only like £5, or Big Cartel maybe, so. And what you get is a really lovely presentation and really good music within that. They even sent me a patch, which is really cool. Now, I'm not saying go and order from them because they'll give you free shit, because if you've seen any of my unboxing videos or whatever, like the I Like Press one, or the reviews I've done, just because a band sends something doesn't mean they have to do it. I certainly don't even expect it, and I'm the one reviewing the stuff, so just go and support them. Don't ask for free shit. They're trying to do a job, but no, support all of these bands. If any of this interests you, of course, if you're like, oh, I hate melodic doom metal, maybe don't check out Camus, or if you hate sort of black metal that has any kind of synths, maybe Agrona won't be for you, stuff like that. But I think all in all, this is a really valuable collection of music that a lot of people could potentially miss out on. And if you're watching this, I don't want you to be one of those people who miss out. So that's the second part of this. The first one people seem to enjoy. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I really like to give something back to the community, so if your band have something, email me it. One thing I will say is I get a lot of emails from people who like my bands, enjoy my videos, or want me to review their stuff. Now, I'm not arrogant if I don't reply. I'm not thinking, oh, cool, another bit of fan mail, whatever. I get a lot of messages, and I'm grateful for every single one. However, if it takes me 2-3 days, maybe a week to reply, that's not because I don't care. That's because I get a lot of messages, and I have a life. I spend a lot of my time recording, going out and stuff, so I take time to do things. I'm only human. But thank you to everyone who supports what I do. I really appreciate it. And furthermore, I'm sure all of these bands and the ones in the first video and any future episodes of these series would appreciate it equally if you check them out. Stay metal, and thank you for viewing.